Okay, moving on to our last installment of the Leaning Tower series. We're going to be moving on to our Leaning Tower holds, Leaning Tower walks, and start to progress that into more dynamic movement. But first, why don't we just start with the penguin walks in place that we started with, and I'll take it to the progression for the last installment, and we'll move on from there. So, first thing we worked on was we've got the golf ball between the butt cheeks and got stiff, credit card into the heels. Now she's just going to do penguin walks in place. You're going to notice she goes straight up as one toe pulls up. She's maintaining that stiffness on the down leg. Then from here we start to progress to walks. We start to be a little more functional. Things we want to see in walking patterns and running and skipping patterns. Then we're going to start to do low knee walks, progressing to our higher knee walks, maintaining that stiffness. Notice she's always going up, not leaning side to side. From here we can start to go to high knee walks. Start to put this all together. And good. Then from these high knee walks is where we can start to progress. We can get to the Leaning Tower or the wall series that I showed in the last video. I'm not going to go over that one today. Then we can start getting into our Leaning Tower holds. Here we want to start to work on maximizing ankle dorsiflexion, stiffness. Still got the golf ball between the butt cheeks. Okay, we've got high angles, which we want because that's what we see in sports. This is how she's got to be to make a play. Have them hold this. Make sure they're stiff. Once they gain control of this movement, she's going to lift the leg to increase the decelerative stress on that front leg. It's also a good test to see if they even have the ability to decelerate effectively. Then we can start to add a knee drive with that stiffness. And notice there's no moving through the body. She's got complete control on that leg. There we do our Leaning Tower walk. So we're going to add an acceleration component on this front leg. As this drives through the ground with our pre-stiffness, this leg's going to punch through. Go. To our deceleration. So now she's getting that deceleration, acceleration component in. So we'll come back with that just to give you a little bit more example here. Good. Then from our Leaning Tower walks, we can do that laterally, but we're going to just show the linear stuff today. Then we're going to start to get her into our Leaning Tower or our Leaning Tower series of skips. And they're going to be low skips, maintaining that stiffness. Go. So she's going to maintain the dorsiflexion on one, driving the other foot through. Then she starts to increase the intensity by driving those knees up. Good. From there, we can start to add in more dynamic running. So she's going to do low knee runs, maintaining those Leaning Tower positions, and then back it up. And then we're going to go to higher knee runs. So the whole time she's striking the ground with that stiff foot. Notice how the leg up, toe is staying dorsiflex, driving through the ground. Good. Okay, so this Leaning Tower series from this point, we want to think of these as general specific skills that are going to help with our sport specific skills as we get into our speed and plyo work, where we're trying to use what we are gaining from learning that stiffness so these athletes can transfer this onto the field and maintain that stiffness. So you can take what we just did, that's more like a rehearsal step where we're actually going to be trying to get our athletes to understand that stiffness in more dynamic positions. Now we'll just take it to a simple plyometric drill where we'll use, first this wouldn't be plyometric because we're going to work on deceleration. So she's got that pre-stiffness golf ball between the butt cheeks. She's got credit card to the heels. She's going to jump, and then she's going to stick the landing. Okay, do it again. So she's going to jump, she's got stiff landing. Notice her angle. She's got good dorsiflexion here, and she's stiff. This is going to be required. So we can go from this static, we can start adding in bouncing. But here what we're going to do, we're going to skip some steps to just show you if she was in a sport, even if she's a goalie, if she has to jump and make a move back, if the ball was kicked toward the goal, let's say she made the block, she landed, there was another kick, she has to go and block it. Go. And now she has to make that move and make the play. So she has to be able to land with stiffness to be able to get back over here if she had to defend the goal another time. Now we can take it to more single leg. I'll just use a bound for example. Here we got our stiffness. We're right back to where our Leaning Tower is. She's going to bound and stick to another Leaning Tower. She's got that prerequisite stiffness. Same thing here. We can start working on getting her bouncing out of it, and then we can start to add a skill. But let's say that she was sprinting and she had to, if a defender made a move on her, she had to go and close out that point or angle or close the space with the athlete. But either way, she's at a disadvantage on defense. So she's going to bound and then she's going to change direction to react to the offensive player. Go. Okay, so that stiffness right there that she had allowed her to make the play. Everything leading up to that with the Leaning Tower series, start to put that into her motor pool and her understand when I ask her to do this stuff that she's able to do it. If she just squishes into the ground on this stuff, what a lot of athletes will do, then you can't make the play. If she's here and then she has to make the play, the goal's made. If she's reacting to an offensive player and she squishes into the ground, she's not going to make the play. She's not going to be able to cut that offensive player off. You saw that she was able to, and that's where this stiffness at higher angles are key, not only for performance, but it's very, very important when we're talking about keeping our athletes healthy, especially female athletes when we're talking knees, ankles, and lower backs.